This is a short tutorial for the node PPG2.0 in PPG version 2.0. In this scene I have a six-sided cylinder and selected the top face of the cylinder using select faces by normal. And here's my PPG dome node that I will now plug into this wire and tell it to use the name selected faces, which is created by select faces by normal, what we see here. So now PPG Dome is used to create all kinds of roofs. We see that it has a diagnostic display with a selected edge. That's why it has this section here. But you may ask yourself, why does this node need a direction at all? Or, why does it need a selected edge? I will show you that in a second. The settings are pretty simple. You have a distance, that's the total distance that is subdivided by this number of subdivisions and can be rotated optionally by this angle. So that's the total angle for the whole distance, which is then subdivided by that many subdivisions. So that's easy. Let's rotate it back. And here's a scaling, which is simply a curve node. So here you can see, for example, you can change these handles here to change the overall size of the thing. You can also say, I'm going to move this away from 0. So when I move this value up here, you see that it automatically creates an end cap for the open end here. This still has the same name. So all of these faces here have the same name, which might be a little bit of a problem. So they're all called dome, and if you inherit the parent name, of course. So that might change in the future, that I give this thing here an extra name. But apart from that, it's not very complicated. So this is how you change this and set it back to 0 if you don't want an end cap. And as I said, yeah, you can change these handles here to change the overall size. So why do we need this orientation here? Why do we need, let me change this back here. Why do we need a selected edge for this thing? Doesn't make much sense, right? Well, I found a special case where I need this direction, or where I need to have some orientation on this source polygon that was selected here. Because we have these two settings here, move in X and move in Z. So this will move this thing to the side, as you can see here. And when I set it to 1, it's going to be completely flat on that side, right? And when I move it to -1, it's going to be flat in the other side, which in this case is an edge, but it's also flat in this direction. And similarly, for the other one, this is 1. And will become completely flat on this edge here. And when I set it to -1, it's going to be flat on the selected edge. That's why we need the selected edge to tell the whole thing to be, where this direction is. By the way, these values go over 1, so you don't have to stick with the value 0 to 1. They will go over it, but you see, it's non-linear. It moves the segments so far when it's at -1. It moves them so far that they are right on top of each other and build a flat face here. And the reason why I did that is this one. I wanted to create arches that are rather niches, rounded niches for, various display purposes. And I needed one side to be flat. So down here at the lower portion of this portal, of this arch portal, I need the dome to be flat. You see that when I select the dome, that the distance is now negative. I'm dialing it inside. So normally the distance would be positive, it would come outside. Now we are dialing it inside. We can go quite a bit. And with these two settings here, move in X and Z, when I set this to 1, you see that the lower side is completely flat, and that way I can create, this niche here. And actually can go further. I can say, inside here, we can move the value up a little bit and make this niche. Actually, it should put the handle down a little bit, like so. The end face here can play a nice role in building this niche here. And that way you see something that's really actually hard to model by hand. And that way I could create this niche with a flat floor. That's why we need these two values, move in X and move in Z, and why we need an edge selection for this PPG dome. So that was an easy tutorial for the node PPG dome.